Welcome back to Tucson Now. Joined with us live here at the desk from the Pima Medical Institute. Please help me to welcome Todd Matthews, the campus director, and Najla Khalifa, the diagnostic medical sonographer program director. Guys, thank you so much for joining us here this afternoon.
Great to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so you guys have some really exciting news. Is that right?
We do.
Tell us all about it.
Well, Naj, what don't you talk about? It's a great new program we have.
Okay, great. The PMI Tucson campus has just launched the first ever ultrasound program, which is a really big deal. It's a long time coming for Tucson. I know a lot of people have been waiting for this program to start. We had such a great turnout for the first application cycle. So we had about 600 people apply in a 30-day period.
Wow.
We had 102 of that 600 people actually qualified to be considered, and then we narrowed it down to our top 16, and that's our first cohort that started on September 17th. So
That's incredible. I mean, obviously it speaks to there's a need for this in the community, right? What are you hearing from that cohort when you were talking to them? What is their passion? Why was it so highly sought after?
I think because we have hospitals here that need sonographers, and they can't fill those positions because there's no school here. And the closest school to Tucson is going to be the Phoenix area. And so students who are considering this program would have to make the decision to move up to Phoenix to be in that program, or they just don't have the opportunity to go to school and be a sonographer here in Tucson. So it's a really big deal.
So from this cohort, I'm guessing it's a lot of people that are local to the area then. And so we're consistently filling a need with people that are from the area that don't have to go off into somewhere else, and that we are benefiting from our own community. How important is that as a campus director?
Well, students have been waiting for this. Probably really over the past year, we really took a close look and really felt at that point in time that we need to get this into our Tucson market. At that point, we were fortunate enough to get Najla aboard really in July, and she's done a tremendous job, and really over the past 3 or 4 months. She's been really busy, let's put it that way.
Yes.
That's incredible. So what does it look like being able to be a part of this group? What are they saying? Is it, I'm so glad that I don't have to move out of the area. I'm so glad that I am able to fill a need that I saw for myself. I mean, what does the conversations look like?
They can be anywhere from crying with tears of joy because they got in. Seriously, it's happened many times actually. To just being very grateful that they got selected because it was really competitive, and this is the first class. The responses there was a big range, you know. So yeah.
So what does it look like now? That being the first class, what does it look like moving forward? Is there a plan for X amount of classes for this amount of years? What does it look like ahead? I mean, there's obviously hundreds of people that want to get into this very specific study here. So what is the plan moving forward?
So it's a 2-year program.
Sure.
In this year, we had the one start, which is our first cohort. The second start is in May of 2026. That will be our second cohort. And then we will have 2 starts in 2027.
Wow.
So right now we have 16 students that are part of the first cohort. The second cohort starting in May is going to have 24 students. So we're going to open up another 8 slots.
Okay.
But then we're going to cap it at 24 to make sure that we are keeping up with our standards and making sure that they're not getting a watered-down version, you know, of this program. We really want to stay focused.
Yeah, incredibly hands-on to be able to give expert-level care and knowledge as it's moving forward. Larger picture, what does this mean for PMI? Putting you on the map. I know that we were talking about local people coming in, but now are we getting people from outside of the area that are wanting to be a part of this program?
100%. Go ahead, Todd.
Yeah, the interest remains really high. We now have, I believe it's still on a regular basis, every week we're still doing information sessions. So it gives students who may be interested that opportunity to find out more about that program. And for our campus too, we're all about healthcare. So really this has been not just a great addition for that program, but many students who come in that may not be accepting that program have a lot of other options, as we have short-term programs that are less than a year, and also other degree programs that are also going to be 2 years, including physical therapy assistant, nursing, occupational therapy assistant, surgical tech. So a variety of other options for students if they can't get into the DMS program.
That makes a lot of sense. Zooming out there as looking at the addition of new programs, identifying the ways that there are gaps or there are holes in our community, and then you guys coming up with programs to be able to fill it right here locally. As an institution, right, as PMI, what does that tell us? What's that take-home message about you guys ever inventing and ever moving forward to kind of make sure that we're filling all of the gaps that we have here locally?
We spend a lot of time through our advisory boards with our local employers trying to identify what are the specific needs, not just the specific skill sets, but what types of roles. So if there's a role that's out there that's going to be in demand, we look to try to put that into our curriculum as well.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, how cool is it for you to be able to be on the forefront, pouring into these people that are getting into these brand new programs, being able to talk about these new programs on the ground floor to help create something that's everlasting in PMI? For you personally, what does that feel like?
It's great. I feel like I was made for this because I do have a business background, and I've been scanning for many years. I'm credentialed in abdomen, RVT, and OB-GYN. So I have a lot of credentials, and I have a lot of connections in the community. So it's a great fit. And I used to be a teacher too, so it all comes together. But we are going to be doing our grand opening for anyone who is interested on the 14th. So Friday this
Friday.
week.
Yes.
From 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And so what we'll do is we'll take you in and we'll show you the classroom, and we'll give you a tour of the state-of-the-art lab that we have. We have equipment in our lab that no other lab in the state of Arizona has.
Wow.
We have 3D probes, we have wireless probes, we have ways of teaching the students remotely. So
Sure.
I can be away from the machine and they can be scanning and they can have a headset on, and I can actually remote in and show them what they need to do and what they need to be considering and looking at. So our lab is really incredible, and hopefully this week on Friday we'll be able to show everybody. So.
Man, that sounds incredible. First of all, it sounds like you are uniquely qualified for this position. So these students are in for an absolute treat, very hands-on, like what you were talking about, very individualized. So if somebody's listening and saying, hey, I'm going to be a part of that, I want to go and see this. This sounds so cool. Maybe this is for me, my next chapter. How can they go about signing up to go and look? How can they join this grand opening or talk to you guys?
Yeah, the biggest opportunity, easiest way to connect with us, you can always stop by. We're at 2221 North Craycroft Road between Grant and Craycroft. But if you just go to our website, www.pmi.edu, that'll give you the opportunity to review the program, get many of your questions answered ahead of time, and have a chance to set an appointment.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. Now, outside of the new program and this grand opening, I mean, you guys have 5 certificate programs like you were talking about. There's probably something for everyone here, including dental assistant, medical assistant, pharmacy technician, phlebotomy, veterinary assistant. Campus offers 9 associate degree programs as well. It feels like a one-stop shop if you have a passion for helping, for being a part of the community and making a difference. It sounds like there's a place for you at PMI. Is that the message that you want to send to Tucson audiences?
Yeah, a lot of options. We've been in operation since 1972.
Wow.
Over 175 graduates and continue to grow. So, you know, when you're in healthcare, there's just so many opportunities out there for students to not just enter one field, maybe the certificate program, that they ultimately end up getting a degree. So, so many opportunities to put their education to work.
Wow. I mean, it's incredible. And yeah, definitely so many opportunities. I mean, I'm looking at some of you guys' statistics here. PMI now graduating more than 175,000 healthcare professionals nationwide, continuing to grow. I know that we've had nurses, we've had doctors on talking about a healthcare shortage. It sounds like you guys are continuously trying to do your part. So what's your message to somebody that's watching now that says, maybe something like this is for me? What could you tell them?
Come visit us. Take the opportunity, make the time to see what we're all about. But most importantly, make sure it's the right field. I think many times students focus on getting a degree or focus on a degree or a field that maybe not quite sure of. So create that opportunity to come in, see what we're all about, and definitely if it's DMS, spend some time with Nash.
Yes. Now, speaking of, you were talking about how many certifications you have, how you're so uniquely qualified for this position. So if you are talking to somebody who maybe hasn't discovered you guys yet, but is talking to you, what are you looking for? What base maybe passions or likes or interests are you looking for in your quote unquote perfect candidate?
It's really your commitment to self-development. So if you are committed to taking the 2 years that it takes to finish this program and really just diving in, going in, without worrying about, how you're going to do or anything, if you are fully committed, that's the student I want. That's what I'm looking for. So.
And for somebody that maybe thinks, okay, like self-payoff here, what does it feel for you? What is your, I feel fulfilled because X, Y, and Z in your position that somebody could, look forward to maybe fulfilling the same way like you are?
Well, I've always loved helping people. I've always loved that healthcare, the healthcare industry. My brother is a nurse. We've got lots of people in healthcare in my family. I think...
Well, you're going to get the first chance to see that first group walk across that stage.
Oh, yeah.
I've been in this business almost 40 years, and it's just not about graduation, but it is a lot about graduation, seeing them walk across that stage. But most importantly, that return on investment is them truly being able to put their education to work. That's what makes us different.
Right. Yeah, I come into class every day and everybody has a smile on their face and they're super excited to be there, and that does it for me. So.
That's incredible, guys. I mean, it sounds exciting. There's so much growth, so many new things happening. You have me excited for sure. I know that people are watching are going to be excited to come to that open house, or that grand opening, my apologies. Come and see and have these conversations about maybe I do fit somewhere in PMI. Now, before we go, is there anything else we haven't discussed you want to make sure Tucson Now audiences know?
I just want to make sure we do several open houses throughout the year. So we encourage, whether it's a high school senior or someone's thinking about college, even if they're a sophomore and junior, to start thinking early. So you can just walk at any point in time. We won't make you wait till an open house date, but we truly have that open door philosophy that if there's something you're interested in, we're going to take that time to provide a high level of service to you and provide information to you.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I'm going to share you guys' website here again, pmi.edu, the on-campus programs, the online programs, and finding a campus here so that you can stop by their building in person, actually, and have these face-to-face conversations. Guys, once again, Todd, Naj, thank you guys so much for joining us here this afternoon.
Thanks for having us.
It's truly a pleasure to see all of the difference that you guys are making here locally.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. From there, y'all, we are going to take a short break. We'll get right back to news coverage here when we return. Stay tuned. You're watching Tucson Now.